Welcome back to the Sports Chat Morning Express program, where in the studio I've brought to you two gentlemen. One of them a sports analyst, that is Shadrack Odinga Andenga at my extreme left. But in the middle, the reason we've put him there is because he's a man under siege. He's a big Manchester United fan and also a big Gor Mahia fan. That is Daniel Neville Odhiambo. Guys, welcome to our studio.
Thank you.
You are besieged man, I said. Manchester United beaten last evening, and then you are on the edge of your seat. Gor Mahia against Tusker is a hot title race. But then first things first, Manchester United, what is happening?
Manchester United is, I think they are undergoing a transition. But then I thank God we started with the wins like 3 times, then the fourth and the fourth and fifth came out as a loss. You know, any other team in the EPL, apart from maybe Man City, is the only team that has not lost. But if you look at Arsenal, Chelsea, they've all lost at least a game. The only difference is Manchester United has lost 2 games in EPL. Then when we don't talk about the Europa, actually.
We've got to talk about it because now that makes it 3 straight wins for Manchester United. And you guys, today I saw in the Standard newspaper, you are dead and buried, is it?
Actually. I thought the biggest casualty here was maybe the person who placed a bet on Manchester United. But a die-hard fan like me, I think I could have even taken a day off just to really get myself together again for something that happened like that. But then I give myself some hope because I know the team I support. I'm never giving up on this, and I know the title race is just beginning. It has not even reached near a quarter of it. And anything...
That's how fans speak, but you must be, as an analyst, you know, something is wrong with Manchester United?
Yeah, definitely. Watching them play yesterday was, I think it's such a compact team, but then you have a big coach who signed big players with big money, then you have big egos. So I kind of feel like they need strong leaders in the team. I feel like Wayne Rooney is not enough for that as a leader. You know, for me, like yesterday's match, they lacked that leadership. You know, they have leaders in the team, you know, like Smalling, Rooney, there's one of the captains, but I don't think they can control Zlatan Ibrahimovic ego or a Pogba ego, who's young and signed with this big money, and everyone is criticizing him because no assists, no goals, but just 4 different hairstyles. So it's a little bit different, you know, when you get such a team. Not that they're playing bad, you know, it might be hard luck for them, but the one thing I'll agree with him is that when you see the EPL this season, it's such a tough league, such a tough league. I believe that every other team will have maybe a team that will score against them or tie against them. Might be a smaller team or a bigger team. I think it's such a challenge for Manchester United to try and pick up from the losses.
Because most teams have signed very good players, most of them. Like Zuniga yesterday, you saw how he played against Manchester United.
And also the tactics of the coach.
I think all those teams are doing fine. But then back home, you know, you'll be happy that at least we ended the Paralympics with 3 gold medals, 1 silver and 2 bronze. Mushai getting us 2 gold medals at the Paralympics. What did you make of that?
Actually, to Skin, I have to admit that anybody in this world can do whatever he can do best, he or she can do best. And I'm so much challenged. Yesterday I was going through something over the social media and the internet. Then I just said, disability is never inability to do something. It's about the attitude we create. Now, someone we consider disabled getting a gold in a competition. It's someone who is limbless, can swim. When I'm having all my limbs, I can drown. I'm getting that. I was going through, so coming back home, Mushai getting 2 gold medals is quite a big challenge to someone who just thinks he can do, but he can't. He perceives that he can't do something. So it's a congratulation to them. It's a congratulation to those who have the heart to pursue their ambitions. And it's they've once again put Kenya on the world map.
Yeah, finishing 34th.
Yeah.
And given also that not much in terms of resources have been put in developing that kind of talent. We've seen countries like China, Britain, US, because of the equipment.
Even South Africa.
Yes, even South Africa and Nigeria.
I think maybe to add on that, it's such a challenge when we talk about these athletes doing that good, doing that, putting Kenya on the map. What are we doing for them? You know, what are we doing? That's the question we're supposed to be asking. When you look at this kind of constitution that we have right now, the devolution government. Yes. I was speaking yesterday to my member of parliament, Mr. Benson Mutura, and I was challenging him. I was telling you at the sub-county level, when you're building a Toyoyo and everyone is praising Camp Toyoyo, I mean, do you think about the people that are disabled in these constituencies that are also participating in sports? That's the difference between us and China. Because when China, they are building their Kasarani, they make sure that the people with disabilities have their part at Kasarani or at Nyayo Stadium, which means they can also come, participate, they have structures, they have facilities. And especially when you talk about people with disabilities, you're talking about special needs. Their equipments are different, they're a little bit expensive, so we need to invest more.
Because you go to a stadium like Nyayo, people with disabilities cannot even access that stadium. They cannot go up there.
They are exempted.
They are always, put inside the perimeter fence.
And they need
the design of the stadium.
Exactly, the design itself does
not accommodate them.
Exactly, they need special changing rooms. They need special. They don't use staircases. They use ramps. They don't have ramps. You find these are things that are challenging, and then we have to try and also commercialize Paralympics or the sports that are people with disabilities. They don't compete in Kenya. We've never had them competing in a league. We don't have that. Maybe tournaments. We only have tournaments, but no leagues.
Yesterday on KTN's Scoreline, we hosted Henry Wanyoike, and he really, said some things that must challenge this nation.
Exactly.
That it gets to a point where the physically challenged Kenyans would have just to rally behind each other, host one another, buy food for each other.
Think about that.
Because we are looking the other way.
And it comes to the point where I come back to your friend, Hassan Wario. Most people think I don't like him, but, you should ask yourself, what is his job as a minister? Did he really understand his job description when he got the job?
Maybe it's time for him now to come up with policies to help our heroes and heroines. We saw Chelagat, winning silver for us, and also Mushai winning 2 gold medals, Henry Kirwa winning the other gold medal, and then we had 2 bronze medals at the Rio Olympics. Now let's move on to women football. The Kenyan women national team, Harambee Starlets, have been drawn in a tough group. It's some people are saying it's a group of death, the African Women Cup of Nations. They are playing Nigeria, 9-time African champions. Do you think we'll hack it?
Everything is possible. If they were able to, they could manage to beat all these other
teams to
qualify, including beating Zanzibar 11-0.
In the second
and coming down from 2-0 when they were playing with the...
Because she's maybe in Form 3 and still in high school. So I think it's a team that is a work in progress. I don't think Harambee Starlets has ever qualified for African Cup.
This is the first time, actually.
It's the first time. So that's a plus to us. I watched them play against Algeria, and we played so poorly, but we still qualified. So I think... David Ouma can use the Sekafa Championship, try as a warm-up and jelly team, get on the formations. But I feel like, to be honest with you, I'll be realistic. Eastern Central African women's teams, they are no match to West African women's teams. It will be hard.
It
will be tough, but in football, anything is possible.
But they can pull a surprise.
I'm telling you, I agree with you. My friend Mkangai in Swahili, when you do a radio show, he tells you, mpira una adabu. Kuna maajabu na miujiza. There are miracles that do happen.
Ghana were the finalists the last edition in Namibia. They lost to Nigeria. We've just said that Nigeria have been crowned champion 9 times.
9 times.
The only other country to have won the African Women Championship is Equatorial Guinea, who are disqualified for using, an ineligible player in one of their games. But then, what is it that we may have got right to the extent now that our women's team is challenging for African honors? What is it? What do you think? Is it the school programs? Is it the league? Do we have even a league?
The league is so poor, so poorly managed. But I think,
not even identified.
Yeah, I think with the Nick Mwenda's management, he's trying to put everything in office.
Yes.
So Kenya is a country right now that was on a verge of collapse in everything, politics, sports, everything. So when you come there as a leader, as the big boss, you're trying to get quick results before fixing something, which I think is getting it right with the women football. You need quick results will appease people. They'll bring the hope back. People will start believing in you, and then we can set up structures.
Can Harambee Starlet's performance inspire a team like even Gor Mahia, your team, Neville, for God's sake? You don't have a women football club.
Do you have
what's happening?
Gor Mahia Divas? Do they play in the league?
The Divas are there to support. Actually, I can't deny that. And that's a good inspiration. Yes. They can inspire a lot, and they can even inspire the opposite of Starlets, which is Harambee Stars.
Yes.
You know, we had lost hope in supporting our own national team, which is the Harambee Stars.
Yes.
But now going for the Harambee Starlets, then we can say what they can do. Also the Harambee Stars can do, and it can work out better. It's about the attitude that they've put and the discipline, which discipline first, if you put in a team, it goes another level. That even you, the coach and the fan or any stakeholder in a team can get surprised. How did this happen?
Yes.
But it's according to how you organize your house, you put the discipline, the attitude, and the determination. That's why I'm telling you, even if they go for the Sekafa, they can't fail to impress.
So, anyone would admire Gor Mahia's performance as a club and the kind of support. And one wishes that you could just have a team. As a fan, would you push Gor Mahia to have a women's team?
Actually, if I had a voice, like we always have a voice, you know, the only person who makes Gor Mahia, apart from the players, are the fans. That's the truth. When the fans come together, they push for a change.
Yes.
And when the fans come together, they'll even say we want an under-3 club under Gor Mahia.
We have a chance, but it's a tough match. But like I said, with a well-organized team, we came from behind. Ethiopia was tougher. And we came behind and won that match. So I feel tomorrow I'm confident that we can win that game. If maybe the cards are played there. But there's one thing that here maybe I would like to mention. It's about organization and putting structures in place. You know, in Swahili there's a saying that ukiona vielea jo vimeundwa. So for us, we try to eliminate this kuunda part. We just think we have to unda. That's exactly the same. We behave like those people when you're going to the garden to chill and put everything in place, no one is there. But when food is ready, then we appear to eat. That's what we can't believe. But I believe that when you have exact places, structures in place. For example, if you go to the UK, every EPL team has a women's team. That's something that the federation can do. Every EPL team should have a women's team, and then maybe structures follow in place. The leagues that you can play, because I'm made to understand that the women's league will now, there's a trying to connect a deal to be airing it in one of the television sets. So I believe those, apart from those putting it on air, we have teams like Eldoret Starlets cannot travel to Vihiga to play a match, and that's
because of the logistical issues.
So they have to give that a walkover. So you have to think about, what about sponsorship? Can the clubs themselves organize themselves with a fully kitted department? We can talk about a president, vice president, head of marketing, HR, things like those ones, so that we can have even corporate sponsors coming in. You know, we can talk about these women getting paid, because maybe most of them are just playing for leisure.
But I would pick Daniel's view that all these performance by starlets can inspire great things, like you said, and it's important that we all support the women national team, because they are playing tomorrow against Tanzania, who have also been in good form. But remember, Kenya also have scored so many goals, and we
are the largest economy in East Africa.
We are the largest economy. So we just hope that the largest economy in East Africa would win that first ever Sekafa Women Senior title tomorrow. But then let's move on to GoTV, Cup Shield. Yesterday we saw the holders Bandari beaten in that match by Kariobangi Sharks, another second division side. What is happening to the Giants? Gor Mahia, you are eliminated by Nzoia United. Is it that the big clubs don't really care about this club?
Not about care. Actually, when Toskin, when you have 2 shirts, then you feel someone is going to walk naked. You lend him one.
What is he trying to say?
I'm saying this.
Western Steamer beat AFC Leopards hands down.
Yeah.
But then they were beaten by KCB. That game,
which is a second-tier team. That is 6th on the log. I think.
So it begs the question, really, are our coaches or our clubs serious about these competitions?
Coaches may be right when they are doing their role. The problem is, maybe in KPL, there's a team you support. You know the problems that are emanating from your team. Maybe there are internal wrangles or anything that can come out of that. The coaches do their best always to make their teams win. They are not. They always never go for a loss. They always never go for a draw. They always go for a win. So there might be any problem which is not in any way put together by the coach. The coaches do extremely well, and that's why when their teams impress and they come out of a tournament or a competition with a victory, you see their faces with all the smiles they can have.
Now, because the quarterfinals have been dispensed with, and we've seen big clubs fall by the wayside. Gor Mahia did not even get to the quarterfinal stage, just as also Tusker and AFC Leopards. They were all bundled out before that. The only big teams now remaining in courts is Ulinzi Stars, who beat Nzoia 4-2, and also there's Posta Rangers, the Kenya Premier League side, that also beat Ushuru FC. The other team that was remaining was Bandari, but they were eliminated yesterday by Kariobangi Sharks, who play in the National Super League. Now, gentlemen, of those teams, Ulinzi, there's KCB, there's Posta Rangers, there's Kariobangi Sharks. Which teams do you think will go further than this?
Watching by the competition itself, it's tough. Honestly, I cannot predict any team that will go there because, like the matches that were played yesterday, they're all on post penalties matches.
Actually, except Ulinzi.
Even Ulinzi, they went on post penalties. So it just shows you how tough it is, and no team wants to be dislodged. We might have surprises. Maybe a second-tier team will be crowned the champions, so maybe a Premier League team will be crowned the champions. But then I'm glad to see second-tier teams challenging for that, for the GoTV Shield, because it shows you how strong they can be. And maybe a team that like KCB has the potential to win the GoTV Shield and play in the Champions League next season, but then they still won't play in the Premier League next season.
They looked really strong. Now let's move to the Kenyan Premier League title chase, where everything now seems to be boiling down to champions Gor Mahia and Tusker, who are leading the Kenya Premier League log with 45 points. Gor Mahia 2 points behind the leaders. And there are so many other teams, about 4 of them or 5, that have a mathematical chance of winning the Kenyan Premier League. And we've seen that. We can talk about Chemelil, Western Steamer, we can talk about Ulinzi and the other teams. But then the momentum appears to be with Gor Mahia and Tusker. Gor Mahia, your team, having come off of a bad patch. I can see you are smiling now because you are only 2 points behind Tusker.
I'm never losing hope, Toskin. The only point I could lose hope was when we could continue with the drawing trend. For the last few times, Toskin.
But it was getting now
for Gor Mahia fans. 4, 5, 6 games to go. We might see a situation where hooliganism will come back because they have to win the league.
I knew you would bring in that.
And then it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem to the referees then. How fair will they be for the remaining matches that Gor Mahia play?
Sure.
When you see Tusker, when you see Gor Mahia, how fair will the matches be?
Because
I'm not saying they cannot win. They still have
only
opportunity
6
to
matches.
win.
There are only 6 matches to go. Gor Mahia still to play 6, and also Tusker still to play 6. And if I look at the fixtures here, Gor Mahia will be visiting Sofapaka on 25th. I think that will be over the weekend. Gor Mahia has yet to play Western Steamer. They are yet to play AFC Leopards on 23rd of October. That's that derby. Gor Mahia also have to play against Mathare United, as well as Moroni Youth and Tusker on the final day of the championship. Those fixtures.
Yeah.
Do you think Gor Mahia can pick 3 points from all those?
Definitely. Gor Mahia will beat all these teams. I'm sure. The only team that will give us a nightmare is AFC Leopards, because it's a derby. You know, a derby you can't really determine. Last time AFC beat Gor, but they were at their lowest moment.
Which teams do you think Gor could end up dropping points there? I've mentioned Sofapaka, Western Stima, Mathare United, Moroni Youth, and Tusker on the last day of the league.
All except Moroni Youth. All except Moroni Youth. And
why Moroni? Gor will be
because
visiting Moroni.
I don't think Moroni Youth can match Gor Mahia, and based on the fact that Moroni Youth is a team from Western Kenya, where Gor Mahia is like has a huge following from Nyanza, and then you think about them, they'll just be told, "Nyinyi ni mabrothers zetu wadogo, so give us way."
No, that's not the option.
So especially if the game,
that match will be, it's likely to be played in Kisumu.
Exactly, if it will taken to Kisumu. I remember when playing for FC Leopards back in the days, and we went for a match in Nzoia, and every Nzoia fan had a blue shirt on, so it was all AFC Leopards. That was only happened to Moroni. All Moroni fans will support Gor Mahia.
I don't agree with
Aluo is Aluo. Aluo is first Gor Mahia.
Yes.
The other teams will follow next. Just like Aluya first is AFC Leopards, and then the others will follow.
It has come to that, Daniel?
It has not come to that.
Yes.
It is always
that
like
is
that.
Perception.
Not my perception, but the reality.
Every time an AFC Leopards fan argues about Gor Mahia tournament, that's how they bring it. They
I'm
say,
not an AFC Leopards fan.
okay, whichever.
You played for FC Leopards.
Okay. My point is this, Toskin. Gor Mahia right now is going for the title. Through thick or thin, they are going to play their best, and they are going to come out of every tournament with at least 3 points, not at least a point. At least 3 points, which if you sum up to the six games that they are left with, they are going to be 18 points. We are looking forward to 18 points.
We don't have much time, guys. Quickly, maybe just in under 1 minute, because we have to look at Tusker also. Tusker are yet to play Moroni, Bandari, Nairobi City Stars, Sony Sugar, AFC Leopards, and Gor Mahia. Do you think Tusker can hack this one?
They have the ability to pull, except the last game against Gor Mahia, which can be a title challenger.
That will be played in Kisumu, I guess.
They'll take it to Kisumu. Where else? You're looking for where you have the greatest followers. Why would they bring it in Nairobi?
Okay, who determines the venue for?
With the Tusker, how many fans, how many followers does that? I only know one, Sami Vanadura.
Yes.
There are like 50 Tusker fans, or maybe 20 who can travel. But when you take, how many Tusker fans travel?
There's a question he wants to ask.
Go ahead.
Okay, you are saying Gor Mahia controls everything, including determining.
That's the reason why they registered Kisumu. That's the reason why they registered Kisumu as one of their home.
Will it be a away game or a home game?
Regardless, the game will be there.
No.
What I'm gathering from you guys is that maybe it's still very tough for Gor Mahia.
It's tough for them.
He has admitted that the derby against AFC Leopards would be unpredictable. But AFC Leopards are no that's Tusker.
If Tusker lose against AFC Leopards, they have themselves to blame.
I hope AFC Leopards fans...
No disrespect for AFC Leopards, they're a good team, but you cannot match them with Tusker.
I'll be one guy who will stand in for AFC Leopards in this case.
Come on, you are in laws now coming in.
Now, the same thing I keep on telling you, that these people may pull a surprise. This football...
Yes.
This football, they may pull a surprise. They may even deny these people 3 points by getting out of the game 1 point each.
But you know why you're reasoning like that? Because if FC Leopards gets a point from Tusker, it gives advantage to Gor Mahia.
Yes. And talking about that, just quickly, AFC Leopards media reports saying that a lot of indiscipline in that squad, that some players have been turning up late for training, some coming drunk. Those are serious allegations.
They are serious allegations, but the problem with the FC Leopards, every single day, there's always been political. And the politics start from up, and then it comes down to players. And then you don't have a coach who commands respect and authority. It becomes a problem when you have players, maybe a player who's earning 100,000 plus, and that player kind of feels that there's some injustice in the team. That player will revolt. So you need a very strong coach who's very authoritative. I'll give you an example of Robert Matano, who's now sick. I like Robert Matano because of one thing. Francis Kimanzi or Ghost Mule, when they say yes, it's yes. No, it's no.
Thank you.
Get to this door, it's this door. You'll open that door, you'll open that door. You need a coach like that at AFC Leopards.
Thank you,
a coach who can even stop the chairman.
Thank you, gentlemen. We don't have much time. We've been speaking to Shadrack Odinga Andenga, sports analyst, a former player of AFC Leopards as well as Nairobi City Stars. And also in the middle, we've been talking to Daniel Neville Odhiambo, a diehard Gor Mahia fan as well as a Manchester United fan, but he's suffering. But I'm sure that at the end of the season, maybe he'll be smiling if Gor Mahia ends up winning that title. That has been Sports Chat on Morning Express. I've been your presenter, Robin Toskin, but then we have Mike Gitonga back in the studio.
Yes, and enjoying the debate there when you bring in Gor Mahia and AFC Leopards. Things just heat up suddenly. It's not just on the streets that, things heat up. I can see even here in the studio.
And how I wish even fans like Linda Ogutu would have been around, to...
If you bring in Linda now to talk about football, you'll be asking for trouble, because I'm sure that debate would have been twice as heated up. But anyway, she's lined up and ready to take us on Worldview. But thank you very much, Robin Toskin, for that moderation on Sports Chat. Asante sana. Well, this is where we're going to wind up the show Morning Express this morning. Thank you so much for staying with us. And starting off this week, and do stay with us right here on KTN News. Coming up next is Worldview, and Linda Ogutu is up and ready. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves and each other.